Imagine this, you buy a brand new Jeep, a Jeep Wrangler Rubicon fully loaded, and it costs you over $62,000 to purchase. And then as you're driving home from the dealership lot, a pop-up ad appears on the infotainment screen promoting a product or service. Sounds absurd, doesn't it? Well, it does. But unfortunately, it is a reality for many Stellantis owners who are facing this issue with their vehicles. And this is part of a relatively new trend within the car market, but one that's part of a broader trend within the overall consumer market, and that is microtransactions. A microtransaction is defined as a very small financial transaction that is conducted online. Microtransactions, at least I feel, became a thing long before we labeled them as microtransactions. Like Farmville, a game from nearly 15 years ago. Well, that game was filled with microtransactions. Or in-app purchase video games. Microtransactions have been a staple in the world of apps and online gaming for a long time. But recently, like within the last 5 to 10 years, microtransactions have been creeping their ugly heads into the world of hardware purchases as well. Like Kindle, which I didn't realize until I just recently got one, that Kindles have ads on the lock screen, and the only way you can get rid of them is to pay for an ad-free version. Alarm clocks have subscriptions nowadays. Even furniture isn't safe for microtransactions. Because an insane example of this is a baby bassinet called the Snoo. A bassinet that costs over $1,000, I might add. And the Snoo comes with an app which requires a monthly subscription to access all the Snoo features. And apparently with the Snoo specifically, Snoo implemented a subscription model after previously not having one, so customers all over the world who owned the Snoo bought it with the understanding that there are no additional charges, randomly get an email one day saying that their Snoo now requires them to pay a monthly subscription to use the features that they once loved. And rightfully, this got a lot of pushback. The point is, microtransactions have seeped into every nook and cranny of our day-to-day lives. And if you thought that the car market was safe, well, you were wrong. And if you've been paying attention to the car market, then you knew that this was the case. Recently, Jeep has been getting a lot of flack online due to their excessive pop-up ads that are appearing on Jeep infotainment systems promoting Jeep extended warranty. And what's happening is every time a Jeep comes to a stop, a pop-up comes up that says, "Purchase peace of mind," with a blurb about extended warranty and a call to action that says Bluetooth call with no ability to opt out or exit. Now, Jeep did comment on the matter, and they said that while the pop-up is supposed to be there should be a way for users to opt out or exit out of the ad, and the fact that this hasn't been the case in recent days and weeks is simply an error and a glitch in the system, and they are working to fix it, and it only affected a handful of users. Now, whether that is or is not true, who knows? But it doesn't change the fact that Jeep is using something like an infotainment screen to advertise a product or service and to pressure drivers into buying that service. And as I mentioned earlier, this is part of a broader and very concerning trend within the car market, which is microtransactions and subscription models within vehicles. Tesla, in my opinion, really pioneered microtransactions and subscriptions in cars with their full self-driving and connectivity packages, all of which are charged on a monthly basis on top of the actual cost of the car. And other automakers followed suit by charging a subscription for some newer, hotter features that weren't previously offered in cars, like in-car Wi-Fi, autonomous driving, which many automakers, not just Tesla, currently charge outside of the purchase price of a vehicle for on a subscription basis. And while I can understand why services like Wi-Fi, connectivity, autonomous driving are offered on a subscription basis because of the fact that they do require internet, I also feel like automakers use this as the stepping stone to justify charging other features with the same model, even if those features were hardware features, not software features. Because automakers didn't stop at the software, they needed more. There have been reports of Audi owners getting snarky messages when trying to use features like climate control that aren't purchased with the vehicle on a subscription basis. A few years ago, BMW introduced a heated seat subscription for $18 a month, but killed it shortly after because of how much consumer backlash they got. But it hasn't stopped BMW from implementing a slew of upgrades under their connected driving umbrella. There have also been discussions of implementing a pay-per-use feature, which to my knowledge hasn't been implemented as of now, and I'm not sure that it ever will be. Even features that we've had for years that we've been able to get for a slight upgraded cost, like remote start for example, these features aren't safe from the subscription model either, because some brands like Toyota are now implementing this as an in-app feature that, you guessed it, costs a monthly subscription, with Toyota transitioning from this being a hardware feature to charging $80 per year for this standalone feature, and now they've clumped this into one of their many connectivity features that start at $15 per month. So if you are buying an already overpriced Toyota product, and this is coming from someone who is a self-proclaimed Toyota fangirl, but if you are someone who is purchasing a newer Toyota, after you spend that high price tag on the vehicle itself, if you want the ability to start your car whenever it's super hot or super cold outside, well, that's going to cost you at least $15 per month. This has simply gotten out of hand. On a personal level, I absolutely hate the trend of microtransactions. And I think that from a personal financial standpoint, microtransactions are extremely problematic, but I also think that we are trending to the dangerous territory of where nobody ever owns anything. Everything from software to hardware is inching closer and closer to being a subscription model product. And it's not only dangerous from the standpoint of where is the line, when are we going to stop paying these subscriptions, but as I mentioned a moment ago, I also think it's extremely dangerous from a personal financial standpoint. Microtransactions are expected to reach a valuation of $176.69 billion by year 2033. But because of the fact that microtransactions are small, they are also very, very easy to get out of hand. For example, what is an extra $15 per month if you just spend $30, $40, $60,000 on a brand new car? These microtransactions turn from $15 a month to $50 to $100, and before you know it, you're spending hundreds of dollars per month on small microtransaction purchases. And automakers are doing this on purpose, and they're doing so for a few different reasons. Number one is the model of reoccurring monthly subscription revenue. It is extremely high margin. It creates a revenue for automakers outside of just simply buying a car. A person may buy a car every 3, 4, 5 years, maybe even 10 or 15 years, depending on the person. And so this is a customer that you're not going to have on a reoccurring basis. But once you force them to spend money every single month, this becomes a reoccurring, super profitable customer. Not only that, but automakers are also able to cut the cost of producing these cars with these features because of the fact that they just install them on all of the cars, but they only activate them on cars that have paid for the subscription. This cuts down on manufacturing costs and increases their margin. And last but not least, it is a significantly easier sell. If you have somebody who's going to the dealership and they're wanting to have a feature like heated seats, heated steering wheel, whatever, and it's something like an upgraded trim that they need to get in order to have those features, that upgraded trim could cost $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, and convincing somebody to spend that amount of money for a feature in a car, it is extremely difficult to do because $5,000 is a lot of money. But by making this a subscription, you make it so that it is a lot easier sell, it's an easier pill to swallow, and so the consumer feels as though they're getting a good deal. But at the end of the day, the consumer is the one who gets the short end of the stick because you may have a car that you bought and it could be completely paid off for 5, 10, 15 years, but if you bought a feature on a subscription basis, you're going to be stuck paying for that microtransaction forever, which is a bad hole to be in. And not only does this add up from a cost perspective for the consumer, but I believe that it also sends a really bad message to automakers. And it will allow automakers to continue to push the limit. They will continue to take away features on cars that you could once buy for a flat fee. They will continue to exploit their in-car software to shove ads down our throat every time we hit a red light. And they will continue to exploit our dollar and our lack of options for their gain. I am tired of it, and I think that automakers have gone too far. Like always, you guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, comments, if you have anything to add, I would love to hear it, so make sure to leave a comment down below. And while you guys are at it, make sure to hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next video.